Hey everybody, welcome to our first lesson in this course of Blueprint. We're going to be start off on our lesson about identifying key problems. So before we get started, you could pause this video and try to think about any types of issues that you are passionate about or that you want to try solving.
So in this lesson, we'll be talking about four different types of problems. The first type of problem is global issues. And global issues are basically complex problems that impact various aspects of human life. So they affect a lot of people around the entire globe. They're widespread social, economic, environmental, or other types of really big issues that impact people all across the globe. So this problem has awareness. So people understand and know the severity of this problem. This isn't a problem that no one has ever heard. It's more a well-known problem that everybody knows needs a solution right now. And this problem affects humans' daily lives. Either like immediately right now, it's a problem that affects you, or it's something that will affect the global population in 10, 20, X number of years. So certain aspects that make global issues important, or like basically certain aspects you should look at when you're picking a global issue, is its urgency. Does this require immediate attention? If it's a problem that requires attention in 100 years or something in the distant future, people won't um give it value, and your solution won't be bought, or no companies will buy your solution. But if it's a problem that needs like urgent fixing, then companies are more willing to spend money and time to buy your solution. The longevity. The issue should persist over an extended period. If this problem is only an issue for the next 2 years, your solution people might only buy your solution for the 2 years, and then your company would be dead afterward. But if this problem is a problem for the next 20, 30, 50, 100 years, then you're more likely that your solution, your company lasts a much longer time. And then last one is innovation or adaptation. So your solution often requires innovative approaches to change the circumstance. This basically means that it can't be some simple solution. It has to gain global recognition, and it being able to solve the problem for the next 50 years. Your solution needs to be able to adapt to how the problem changes over that period of time. Our second type of problem is the niche issues. So these are specific, often lesser known issues that affect particular communities or groups. So this doesn't gain as much attention as the world issues, but still has significant impact on individuals. So unlike how the global issues affect everyone around the globe, or most people around the globe, niche issues only affect a particular community, particular set of people, and people outside of those communities often don't know about that issue. So some people recognize that this is a problem in their life, but some of these problems, again, don't need a solution. And this affects a group of people with a specific trait, and it's specific to their needs. This basically means what makes a community a specific community. So like if a community has a specific trait and they're having a problem within that, then you know that would be a niche issue that only affects that community, doesn't affect literally everybody. So some of these attributes that make a niche issue something you should like try to solve. The first one would be limited scope. This issue has localized impacts. So if this issue is a global issue that requires a different type of solution where you need to pitch it to people all around the globe. But if the issue has localized impact, then you know it's more of a niche issue. And then another one is the depth of impact. The issue should have a substantial impact on the affected community. If the community is a small community and the issue is a small issue that barely affects their lives, they're not likely to buy it. But if that issue affects a lot of different aspects, or a lot of things they do in their life, then they're much more likely to buy it. And then lastly, you have engagement. So that basically means that individuals in that community should advocate for the solution. If it is a problem that doesn't need a solution, then again, they're not likely to buy it. It's not a good solution to fix right now. But if there's a lot of people in those communities that advocate and speak about it and want a solution, like actively want a solution to that problem, then you know they're much more likely to buy it, and it's more of a niche issue that you should solve.
All right, moving on to our third type of problem, We'll start off with problem with lack of convenience. So this is for situations where people face difficulty due to a lack of easily accessible or user-friendly solutions. I'll expand on this more. So the problem still has a notable impact on people's quality of life and productivity. There could be solutions already to this problem. However, they may not be convenient for a user to obtain, or there may be other struggles for that user to use that solution, which is why it's called a lack of convenience, right? For this type of problem, it highlights a specific and relatable challenge, a challenge that, a lot of people with this problem, it should be very prevalent in a community and they should be able to relate to it. So noting off some key characteristics about this problem, first off, we can talk about the relevance. Like I mentioned before, it should be a relatable challenge. This problem should really be, it should resonate with other people, right? On why whatever happens, is not convenient enough for certain users. I'll expand on that more when we cover examples. Another key characteristic could be the problem has to have a clear impact. The effects of the problem on the community should be evident where anybody can see it. The people in the community can see it. The person who's examining the problem can see it. There should be a noticeable impact on the community with this problem. User-centric is another key characteristics. This basically means the problem should be from the perspective of the community impacted, obviously. And last one, we have applicability. This problem should apply to a variety of contexts, right? It should not just be in one certain scenario. It should appear multiple times, happen in a lot of different situations, which makes your solution to the problem, as we'll cover later, a lot more valuable. Now, our next and last type of problem is needs improvement. This refers to systems or processes that are functioning but could be enhanced to better meet the needs of individuals. So, just a quick heads up, with problems like lack of convenience or needs improvement, these types of problems can often overlap. But with that clarified, the needs improvement category, problems often highlight areas where inefficiencies or shortcomings exist. So there could be already a solution to a specific problem. However, there might be, inefficiencies within that solution, and you could have a better solution, which is why it's called needs improvement. Some key characteristics to look for when identifying this type of problem is identifiable gaps. There should be clear gaps or deficiencies between the current system and the desired outcome, right? Another one would obviously be potential for enhancement. There should be clear opportunities for improvement, and that comes from, looking at those identifiable gaps. What is wrong with the solution, or what exactly is the problem? And how does the current solution relate to that problem? And what does the current solution not cover about that problem? Or what does it not solve about that problem? And how can that be improved? That's pretty important to go over.
These are some examples that we're going to cover. We'll have 4 in total that go through the different problems that we talked about so far. So example 1 is basically the problem is people who need to travel and don't have a car, and the solution is Uber. So you guys can pause the video throughout these examples and try to figure out what type of problem we're talking about. But the answer to the first example is niche solution. And it's basically a niche solution, Uber is, because it only affects a certain group of people with a similar attribute. And that similar attribute is that they need to travel and they don't have a car. That does not apply to everybody. That does not apply to people who are too young to go on Uber. That does not apply to people who have a car and can drive, just the people who need to go somewhere right now, but they don't have a way to get there. So the second example, the problem is a faster phone with a digital interactive screen. And the solution is the iPhone. And you can pause it again, but the type of problem we're talking about is needs improvement. Because there was already phones available before the iPhone came out, but the iPhone came and improved the current solution, the current phone, with better attributes, better traits that made it more desirable and made it better for people to buy.
All right, moving on to our third example. We have a problem, climate change, and our solution is investing in renewable energy. You can pause this to think about what type of problem it is. The answer is this is a global problem. This is a global issue. You can easily see this because it's a widespread issue that affects various aspects of human life. You know, climate change is nothing like the problem that my partner mentioned with the Uber or something. It's a very global problem that everybody is affected by. So it's a global issue. Our last example is a problem is needing a refreshing drink. The solution is soda. Once again, think about it. But this is one of our last type of problems, a lack of convenience. You can see that, you know, let's say a customer is lacking a refreshing drink, right? The thing that provides that convenience for them is the soda. So, yeah.
So at this time, the video and lesson was about to end. So you guys, before watching the next lesson, you guys can come up with 5 different problems that you're interested in solving. Just like write them out down on paper or like think about them. That will prepare you for the next lesson. Thank you.